Hello and welcome back to another VOD review. Today we're going to be doing a VOD review of Kipo. Some of you on the Overwatch University Discord server may know him as Dottie. He's going to be playing DPS today, so let's hop right in and see how he does. You're going to be starting off on Pharah on defense Rialto.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers
Just the volume real quick.
Stop the pain.
Okay, your Widow gets a nice pick there. So since you don't have a Mercy with you, you're going to have to play a little less aggressively than you normally would with the Pharah. Okay, good dive on the McCree, who doesn't seem to know that you were there. This is a bit of an aggressive positioning here. There's a Zen behind you, yeah. They do have an Ana and a Zen, so the McCree isn't the only threat to you there. Nice, yeah, the other team's getting staggered very slowly, so this is not necessary. The McCree's back. That's a very aggressive dive. Yeah, you get punished for it. There's no reason for you to have done that. Because if you actually look, your team is up in kills constantly by 1 or 2 kills. So all you gotta do is just play safe, keep spamming them at a distance. It was a very aggressive dive and it cost you. Yeah, now your team is starting to get rolled. Okay, swapping to the Echo. I like this because, again, you don't have the Mercy, and I think Echo is a lot more... she's less dependent on the Mercy than Pharah is. Good punish on the feeding ball. This is a very aggressive positioning here. Your D.Va is up, so you don't need to contest the cart here. Yeah, and you do pay for it even though you get nanoed. So your Ana nanos you to try to save you. So here, I'm assuming that you wanted to contest cart here, but that's your D.Va's job. Your D.Va is up, and that is her job, not yours. Your Hog is actually in spawn. He's spawning right now. So it's your D.Va's job to stall until your Hog gets back, and then you can go for the engage here. But yeah, it would be very easy here for the McCree to just roll forward and flash you and kill you. Especially with the Zen and the Zarya right next to him here. You do manage to assassinate this Zarya really quickly, only because you got nanoed, but they counter nano and they punish you for it. Yeah, and your Ana actually dies because of that. And now you're... Oh no, your Ana's still up. Oh, okay, and they wasted trans. That Zen's completely throwing. He should have just died there, just reset. Neither of those should get out, neither of those two. Yeah, and a very easy cleanup. So their Zen kind of threw there. You just say thank you for those. I think you still need to get more comfortable with the projectiles, like the M1 projectile of Echo, because a lot of the easy shots on the ball are being missed here. And again, why the aggressive touch here? So your Hog dies, which is unfortunate. Your D.Va's back here, and if she has boosters, she's 1 second from boosters. So your D.Va could have touched here. They can't push 4 meters in 1 second. Yeah, your diva can touch here. So you going in like that aggressively, I think was a mistake here. Especially considering how close you are to the ult. Maybe you were just trying to get ult and clone someone here. What you should have done though, if you were gonna do that though, is you should just use hard cover and spam out the remaining damage, and then contest. And even if you didn't manage to do that, I think your diva would come back and contest in time, and then you would have ult here. You can copy like I don't know the Zarya or the Ana, and you can potentially turn this fight off of the strength of the Echo ult here. But unfortunately you die. And so that is a point A loss.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
And the pink team, the enemy team actually doesn't seem to be very good because they actually can aggressively push forward here and spawn camp the people coming out of spawn. So like your Ana here should have died, but they all chose to sit on the cart for some reason. Ana still might die to that ball. No, he's out. Okay. Nice kill there. Nice little assassination on the green. Very nice. Yeah, and now they're staggered. You're down your Widow, but you can still push aggressively here. What is that ball doing? I think he's trying to spawn camp your Widow. Yeah, you need to peel for that. Okay, yeah, and your Widow does get out. Oh yeah, your Hog's here. Okay, your Hog's here, so now you need to go back to the front. Nice little assassination attempt. So I'm assuming you called for the nano there because that was a very aggressive movement after you're down to 35 HP here. So I'm gonna assume this is coordinated. Cloning the Ana. That's unfortunate though, because as you press Q, your team got 3 kills. Yeah, just before you pressed Q, your team got 2 kills, and then you used your ult. So it was so fast. I'm not really gonna blame you for that one. It was just like less than a second before you pressed Q, these 2 picks came out. But that's just unfortunate. It's just unlucky. And you end up getting the kind of a no impact ult here. Just the meme nano on the Ana. It's quite a risky positioning considering they have the Widow. Okay, the Widow uses sights. Your Widow dies. Okay, that's just a feed. Yeah, that's just a feed. I'm sorry. That's not something that should be happening at this level. Also, I'm sorry if I didn't mention at the beginning, but this is 3600 SR. Your Widow, so their Widow uses their wall hacks. Your Widow dies, and you decide to peek the Widow, who has no pressure on her from your Widow because your Widow's dead, and who has the wall hacks up, so she can just stand still and just duck hunt basically. So now you're down 2. Your team is probably gonna get rolled here. Yeah, and there we go. There starts the roll. Yeah, so that was a very, very, very aggressive maneuver to pull off when your Widow dies during the enemy Widow's ult. Yeah, and unfortunately that is going to be the point B loss. Oh, no, actually. Yeah, that is the point B loss for you guys. You're forced to stall here, or touch here, so nothing you can do. Okay, yeah, so it's unfortunate. Your Zen's trans, I think, was alright because they used the grab and the mines there. So not a bad trade in the ults. You swap to Hanzo. Delete the discorded ball. Oh, nice shot. Nice shot. Yeah, cleaning up on the Hanzo. Okay, walls are back up. Ooh, that's even. I wouldn't do that. Honestly, you're getting to the point where you need to start respecting the DPS on the other team, especially if they. Yeah, so like in that kind of situation when the Widow is up there and she has walls, just don't peek that, because that's. If she didn't have walls, it's a different story. Like, by all means, as a Hanzo, feel free to peek that. But if she has walls up, that's just a feed at that point. You're relying on her missing her shots rather than you being good. And I always say never rely on your enemy being bad. You have to rely on yourself being good. You do seem more comfortable with the Hanzo arrow projectile than with the Echo. Good punish on the ball. Yeah, their ball's just not really been getting any value this entire game, really. Would have been nice if you could have cleaned up on the McCree there, but it's out. Your Zen gets backlined. Wait, how did your Zen die? Where was your Zen? Oh my god, why is he out here? What is he doing? Yeah, he just dies instantly. Okay, your Zen feeds. Looks like that's an endemic problem on your team with feeding. You're down one here. Your Hog's dead. You're down two. Your Diva's forced to mech or ult to get her a new mech. You guys are getting hard staggered. You need to back. Yeah, now you're... Okay, that was... I don't know, what is happening in this game? Wait, okay, so that McCree just threw. Standing still in front of a Hanzo while high nooning is questionable at best. I think you needed to back out a lot harder than you were, considering how much down you were, and then your Diva is forced to use the mech there. It's surprising that your Diva even got her mech back. I would have... In a situation like that, there's always the threat of your Diva being killed while remeching, in which case you're really down. It's just you and Zen and Kree, so you need to hard back. I don't mind the use of the dragon here to just slow down the momentum. Yeah, and you guys get 2 picks here. The ball's just been feeding the whole game. You got another headshot on the Ana, which is very nice. Again, the Hanzo's just standing still in front of you. It's a little weird. Nice. Win the duel against the Tracer. Unfortunately, the Zen wins the duel against you. Yeah, and that should be a cap, I think. Yeah, that's the cap. Your ball can stall for a couple seconds. You need to swap to stall hero here. You need to swap to like Tracer's taken, so Doomfist, Mei, Reaper, whatever you gotta do. Whatever you gotta do. Wait, actually, are you guys holding this? Wait, your Zen picked their Zarya. That's absolutely massive. Oh no. Wait. They C9? What? They're on the point! Wait a second. Oh my god, they C9, the Tracer C9! Holy shit. Your Hog was trying to C9 them with the whole Hog. Oh no, dude. No, don't go for the Lucio here. Oh no. Wait. Yeah, they're on. This is a winnable fight for them. This is absolutely a winnable fight for them. They're still on. The Tracer and Lucio are on here. Oh my god, the Tracer C9'd! And the Lucio, both of them. Well, Lucio dies. I think he's chasing... What was he even doing? I don't know. But the Tracer C9. Okay. So... a lot of this game so far has been the enemy team just throwing. Like, starting from the Zen, the really weird Zen trance at the first choke that he just threw away. And then, like, the Kree just standing still, and, like, the enemy ball kind of feeding all game, and then C9ing. But that's fine, we take those wins.
Nothing to worry about.
Okay, and you're starting off on the Echo on attack. Oh, that's unfortunate. Good use of the hard cover in the air. Yeah, I would not peek the Ashe. That's a mercy boosted Ashe and a Hanzo, so also with LOS. Again, this is incredibly ballsy to do. Yeah, and you get punished for it. So honestly, I don't really have an issue with any of like the mechanics or anything. It's just it seems like I think you need to learn to respect the enemy DPS, and by respect, I don't mean like you need to like be like, oh, this person is gonna be a good player. It has nothing to do with the player. You have to respect the hero. You have to respect the character, right? There's an Ashe and a Hanzo. They both have one-shot potential. Well, not the Ashe anymore, but she can almost one-shot you. He can one-shot you. And if either of them body shot you once, you die instantly, right? They have a Zen, so if you get discorded and a mercy boosted Ashe headshots you, you die instantly, right? There's a lot of one-shot potential. There's a lot of insta-kill potential just based off of their team comp in general, right? They've got basically 3 snipers in here. So just poking out like that, what is happening to this? Okay. Yeah, so poking out in front of, in the front like that is very questionable.
Learning from that one.
Okay, I'm gonna swap the Sombra here.
Can be hacked.
I do play a lot of Sombra myself, so I'm interested to see what you do with the Sombra here. Gets picked. Yeah, your team's just getting destroyed here. Quite a long flank. Just waiting on your team to come back.
I'm out of here. Be right back. Much better. ¿Extrañaste? Damn it.
Okay, nice force on the trance.
Translocating. Don't mind me.
Okay, nice deactivation on the bot.
Much better. ¿Qué onda? Ahorita regreso.
Yeah, and you just die to the Hanzo.
Reboot and try again.
I do think. Let's see. Yeah, so you didn't have your translocator up here. Yeah, and again, the animation to cloak does take some time, so he can actually see you doing that, and he manages to interrupt it and then land the follow-up shot. Never hard engage without your translocator up. Like, I would have just waited a second there, and then while I'm killing the hog, I throw my translocator somewhere. I think you could have avoided this death and then had the EMP for just a little bit quicker. I don't think it's gonna matter in the long run, but just little nitpicks. Ideally on Sombra, you don't want to be dying like at all, pretty much. You want maybe at most you want maybe 1 or 2 or 3 deaths in the entire game. Okay. Good delete. And good pairing with a bomb to get 2 picks there. The other team is really throwing by committing the grab dragon there afterwards. It's a terrible decision. Down 2, and you know they have trans. It's never gonna work. That hog's been feeding you a ton of ult charge, which is nice. Good chip down on the Bob. Okay, yeah, I don't mind the EMP there, but I just wish that you had done it on this corner instead of this corner, because yeah, I don't know if you knew, but there was a Zen out here. Yeah, and if you had done it here, you would have gotten the Zen as well. I think it shouldn't matter, actually. Yeah, it gets purpled, so the Zen wastes trans. Actually, this works out well for you, because now you got the trans out. If you had done what I said, you would have killed him, and then he would have had trans for the next fight. So you know what? It worked out.
I might need this later. Sniper, ten cuidado. Here I am.
I think that's a bit of a questionable decision to decloak there. I think it's a bit of a questionable decision to decloak here as well. Okay, yeah, so let's keep watching. I want to see what. Oh, let's see what happens. Oh, your Ana dies. Forced the mech. She gets her mech back in the middle of the enemy team. Bad focus fire on their part. Zarya could have just beamed her down. You're trying to hack the tracer. Yeah, unfortunately it's not enough. Last fight. You're coming up on last fight now. So I think these last few, this is what I like to call a dive, is when, you know, you set your translocator down in one spot and then you go to, you know, disrupt or do whatever, do your thing as Sombra, and then translocate back to safety. One of those rotations, I call them dives. As a general rule of thumb, I want to farm 25% charge on each dive on Sombra. If you're not doing at least that much, you're not really getting value out of her. Because Sombra is basically an ult bot. Her general toolkit is not very strong. So in order to get maximum value out of her, you really need to... Yeah, so like here, instead of decloaking here, I would have actually just gone a little further. Because here, the Widow can turn around and headshot you. The Hawk can peel for you, or peel for the Zen by turning around and going for the hook. If you'd run further back here, and then like as a Zen turn the corner, like hack him and then shoot at him, then that becomes a lot harder for his teammates to help you here. So you EMP'd at the bridge, so you started at 0. So from then to now, that dive, you got 14% charge. So we'll call it 15. And then here's the second one. I don't like this one either because while it would be nice to assassinate her, you have to know both her supports are up here. And like I said, this is incredibly dangerous because if you get discorded and the Ash headshots you, you just die instantly. Which would be really, really terrible for your team. So basically I think you're going for targets that you can't guarantee any damage on, or like follow-up kills, because the team is able to peel for them. In situations like this, it's actually better to just go on dives specifically for the purpose of farming ult, which usually means it's best to go after their tanks, or like even like people in group settings where you can just spray and hit all your bullets. So here you're forced out. You got, let's call it another 15%. And then like here as well, right? So you see the Hog, so getting the Zen is unlikely considering that the Hog is there. In a moment like this, it would have probably been better to say like get up here where the Zen can't LOS you, and then just farm the Hog as best you can for ult charge, rather than going for the Zen in front of the Hog here. And you're gonna get forced out really quickly. Yep. So there's another 15%. So you're averaging 15. That's 3 dives, and you have 45% ult charge. You're averaging 15% per dive. That's just barely not enough. So if you had 75% ult charge right here, like I said, if you try to get a benchmark of 25% ult charge per, then here you would have gotten your EMP in this fight, and potentially you could have won it with the EMP here. Like if you EMP that bomb, right? That's a free cap at the very least, because everyone has to get off card and take cover. Or it would just lead to multiple kills and you would win that way. But here you're at 60% charge. That's 4 dives, so you're at 60%. So you are averaging 15% per. So we already saw this. So let's go ahead and see what the last fight looks like for you. So you are coming up on your last fight. You're gonna have EMP. Putting your translocator down in front of the tracer. Again, and yeah, I don't think you're getting any value dueling the tracer here. Like that's a good kill. That's a good cleanup kill on her. I think that's probably the lowest value target that you could kill on the enemy team. Okay, you get there, Zen. I don't think that's gonna be enough though. Yeah, there's nothing to block the res. And I think you actually could have saved yourself with the... Yeah, your translocator is up here. So whenever you're fighting, if your translocator is up, just throw it somewhere, because it gives you... most times you will actually just get out, as long as you place it well. So for example, I would have thrown it over the wall back here, where the Mega is. I would place higher value on that than on dueling here, even with the time running out. because it's the most important to stay alive here and get a nice crucial hack on someone, like a really nice important hack than this. Yeah, so I think your inability to farm ult quickly enough in the second point, like the streets phase of Rialto, it directly led to the loss for your team here, because yeah, like I said, that previous fight, if you had your EMP there and you EMP bombed with your D.Va, you would have capped it, right? And then the game continues. I want to take a look at this last fight here. Yeah, so you got the Tracer right here. Unfortunately, your Echo just feeds by jumping up in front of their entire DPS lineup, and there's high charge Zarya. I get that you're trying to EMP the Zen so that he doesn't get trans, but I think you could have positioned better in a way that you could have gotten the rest of their team as well, because from where you EMP'd, you didn't really get much value. Yeah, so you got 3. Mercy balked in time, so she actually, that doesn't matter that she got EMP'd. The Hog and the Zen get EMP'd here. And there's no follow-up, because your team is actually backing out due to the Echo dying. So like here, it might have even been better to wait, install for OT, and then get a nicer EMP with that. Yeah, so your Zen trances so that your team can actually start pushing up to try to utilize the EMP. It looks like it wasn't calmed then either, because your teammates aren't playing like they knew there was an EMP coming. Nice sleep from your Ana, and the bomb comes in to kill the Kree. Yeah, the Mercy reses the Zen, who then trances. Yeah, so like here, if you had done what I said and translocated out, what we have here is you, Ball, Ana, and Zen versus Mercy, Tracer, Zen, and Hog. So it's a 4v4. Mercy's Valk is about to run out. So it's a 4v4. They're going to have Whole Hog, and they're going to build a Pulse. And you guys don't, and you have a Nano. So maybe you can Nano you or the Ball or even the Zen, and then you can definitely use the Nano to counter the Pulse Bomb. The Whole Hog is problematic because he can actually push you off in OT, but you and Ball can try to counteract that and stall it out. You can try to land a hack on him while he's whole hogging, and then that would be really impactful. So I think this is actually a potentially winnable situation. I'm not gonna just go out and say that you would have won if you had gotten out here, but I think it would have been at least a fight worth trying. So let's see, general things that I think you could improve on. When you were playing Pharah and Echo, I think your positioning was very aggressive, and you got caught out several times, especially the 2 fights at the choke here. I don't think you needed to contest for either of those when your D.Va was up. The second time definitely cost you because you were about to use your ult and potentially anchor it, and you didn't get that off. And the Pharah, you made some questionable dives, especially considering you didn't have a Mercy and you got picked. One more little thing I would say for Echo is you play her really well as an assassination hero, but I also think you're missing out on a lot of damage pressure by not pressuring with your M1 constantly, like spamming it down long sightlines and chokes. In that regard, you kind of want to play her like Zen or like Junk, where you're just using your M1, just spamming it to constantly apply damage pressure, because Echo does a tremendous amount of damage. Every headshot is 100 damage, and it's not that hard to get headshots with those projectiles. Even the body, even a body shot is 51 damage. It's really not. That's a considerable amount of spam damage to put out, and potentially charge your ult faster and open up picks for your teammates. So I would definitely work on that. Respecting the enemy characters, definitely that led to you getting picked several times. Once on the Echo when you just fed here by peeking a wall hacking Widow who had after your Widow died. And then once again on the attack here where you just poked out in front of a mercy boosted Ashe, a Zen, and a Hanzo, and then you immediately took enough damage for the Hog to hook you and kill you here. What else? Your Hanzo looked good. Again, the little bit about respecting the enemy heroes, but other than that, your Hanzo looked solid. I think, and then for Sombra, I think the target prioritization was a little lackluster. And you played it more like you were going for picks on the supports or their DPS rather than farming ult for EMPs. Which, if you can get the picks, it's worth it. But if you don't think, if you're not confident in the situation that you can get that pick, it's better to just farm ult there. I think if you did have that ult for the previous fight, you would have capped for sure. And yeah, and just like translocator uptime and things like that. Yeah, so I hope you learned a lot from this, and keep an eye out for some more VOD reviews in the future.